Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button. There it is, so you don't miss any of our football content this season. It has been, if I might say, fantastic. All right, instant reaction. We have all sorts of stuff. I'm going to give you about 12 to 15 minutes on the Rams, Niners, and some Belichick thoughts. Something was uncovered tonight that's fascinating. Chad Millman, Sharper Square. We're going to also talk Belichick and UFOs. You know, why not? So the Rams beat the 49ers 12-6. So the first thing is, I stayed away from this game. I wouldn't touch it. I could have done a DraftKings bet. I said, there's too many injuries, weather is shaky, and the Rams just played a flawless football game against Buffalo. Then you got to get on a plane Wednesday, fly to your rival division game. Like, I didn't know what I knew the Rams were going to be off. You cannot play a game against a team like Buffalo, a high-stakes game, and be flawless, even with men. This isn't college, but to go on the road against your rival, Greenlaw's back, Bosa played, so they won, and you have to be healthy. But they won, and you have to be happy. But here's the thing. So all these wide receivers, do you know Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, and Deebo Samuel's record this year? 17-23. Top 5 rushing teams are all right now in the playoffs. You got to be careful with Deebo wide receivers. Deebo wants the ball. Oh, Deebo can't catch the ball tonight on an underneath route where he had a chance to peel off a huge play, potentially a touchdown, and they settled for a field goal. You could clearly see the Niners trying to appease Deebo and get him the ball and force it. I like him better as a running back than a receiver anyway. I think his yards after the catch and his running ability is much greater than his separation ability. I think he's become sort of a banged-up poor man's Anquan Bolden that, doesn't separate, but he's physically tough and a nice player. But so you have young Brock Purdy, doesn't want to lose Deebo. Ayuk's already out for the year. Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey hurt. So Deebo picks the worst time to, be high maintenance because, Purdy's young. He doesn't have Ayuk. Kittle is tremendous, but a lot of teams now are taking him out and spending a lot of coverage on him. So they force the Deebo, and this is what you get. Biggest game of the year for the Niners, 197 total yards. And Brock Purdy in 13 starts. Everybody talks about him getting paid big money. It's a big mistake. I don't buy it. I never have. Doesn't have Christian McCaffrey. Doesn't have Trent Williams. In 13 starts this year, 15 touchdowns, 9 picks. And you want to pay him $55 million? The minute you take away his best players, he is a guy. He didn't get passed by everybody in this draft. During Tom Brady's run, there were more sleepers. You find occasional sleepers, but scouting departments now are much more sophisticated. In Brady's era, you didn't have all the YouTube stuff. You didn't have the ability to see some of these college games. They're all on television now. It's just really hard to hide people. Staffs are bigger. Scouting departments are bigger. There's just more sophistication. Brock Purdy dropped to the 7th round. He's small. He doesn't have a big arm. He's athletic, but not special. Hands are a bit small, and you're watching a guy that when you lose people, what do you get? And conversely tonight, Matt Stafford, very, very rough first half. I mean, it was like the Niners defense had the Rams playbook. They knew where he was. He was just trying to beg him to throw an interception. And yet, he showed exactly why he's a real franchise player on those big drives, late third, early fourth quarter, using his feet 2 or 3 times, ducking out of stuff, really big third down throw. I wrote this big third down throw to Colby Parkinson late, whereas Purdy previously in the fourth quarter had a really, really ugly end zone pick. You saw the real separation here. Rams, short week off a highly emotional game on the road, division rival. Neither team has their fastball. Stafford in the second half, after a shaky first, really made all the big throws. And because the coaches are both great, the offensive lines are good, not great. And that's the separation between the two. Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year for getting in on all the basketball, football, hockey action at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's the season of giving, so we're being gifted college football and basketball, pro football, basketball, pro hockey to almost 24/7. It's an absolutely great time of the year. So a lot of games every day, so many opportunities to place your first bet. Now, if you're going to bet for the first time, just make it simple. Pick a team to win, any team. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook. They have an app. Download it in 90 seconds. Here's the gift for all new customers. Bet $5, just $5. If your bet wins, you get $150 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The code is Colin, Colin. New customers, $150 in bonus bets. If you bet $5 and it wins. Happy holidays from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Yeah, I'm looking at this. 2 big drives, Stafford in the second half. That's the ball game. And you know, people think I'm anti-Purdy. No, but somebody's got to pop the balloon on this nonsense. I think Purdy is a less athletic Dak. Now, Dak, after his second surgery here, is going to be even less athletic. He lost mobility after his first surgery. He'll be less athletic. You're seeing what it's doing to Aaron Rodgers. You're seeing what it's doing to Kirk Cousins. He's younger, but he won't be the same. And this is what holds the Cowboys back. They're paying a B quarterback A+ money. If you pay Purdy A- money, he's a B quarterback. You just don't want to get into that space. Pittsburgh will probably pay Russell Wilson. They're going to pay him B quarterback money. Darnold could be franchise tagged for $40 million, $41 million, but that's B quarterback money. So, and I've said this. I wrote the Niners obituary 3 or 4 weeks ago. I don't think this is a tweak. I don't think it's a tweak. I think both Ayuk and Debo are now pretty verbal. Neither seems terribly happy. Kittle's terrific, but he's a tight end. He is aging. Trent Williams doesn't have much left on the tires. So I think they have to rebuild both offensive lines. And conversely, the Rams are really well coached. I said outside of the Lions, I'm not sure there's a team in the league that has a better offensive head coach, quarterback, star running back, and 2 elite receivers. And they're doing it without Tyler Higbee, their top tight end, who is coming back soon. So as the Rams' offensive line has gotten healthier over the last month, Stafford's been exceptional. You noticed it tonight. He had better protection. Now they're getting their tight end back to go along with Colby Parkinson and David Allen. So all of a sudden now the Rams are healthy down the stretch. And I think they can play with anybody. Now their defense, they're a little like the Packers. They feel like they're a tad young. The Packers are young on offense. The Rams feel a little young on defense, and they still need a number 1 corner in the draft. But this is a real Rams team. And I think they solidified their playoffs tonight. It's a quarterback coach league, and nothing against Shanahan, but he's got Purdy, and Stafford and McVay are another level. So congratulations. So I want to add this because this came down tonight. So Chad Millman and I talked some Belichick, but I didn't have this information. So I made the prediction today on FS1. I said, my take is Bill Belichick, easy schedule, Carolina, going to win 8 or 9 games and maybe get to the playoff, but get to a big bowl. But I don't necessarily think he'll coach in that bowl. I think Belichick is going to get irritated. His coaching and his structure and the personnel with Mike Lombardi will be fine. I don't think those guys are long-term fits at the college level. They've got a very Charlie Weiss feel, but even more blunt. And Belichick's got so much power. And because Lombardi's his friend, Lombardi's got power. I think it could be pretty rough. They're pretty terse, blunt, outspoken guys. Both very, very talented. I know Mike Lombardi is a very talented guy, and I wish them both well. But it comes out tonight, Belichick's deal has a buyout of only $1 million. And he can leave after June 1st this year. Now, he's not going to. Duh. Nobody hires a coach after June 1st, obviously. But I said today, I think he's going to coach 1 year and go back and get an offer in the NFL. And then I think he's going to hand it over to his son. So there's some things that'll come out in the contract. And I do think Bill wanted the Bears job. They're not interested. I think he's really interested in the Jacksonville job. They're not interested. Mike Vrabel, by the way, and I talked to Mike Vrabel for about 15 minutes this morning, and I'm not going to give out a lot of details of that. But, one of the things I told Mike, I said, you're now the number one candidate. I'm just not sure there are any jobs worthy of your coaching ability. I think next year is a much more interesting year. If you look at Zach Taylor, Cincinnati, I think he'll retain his job. I'm not sure if he'll retain it. If the Bengals have another season like this, keep your eye on that. I think Mike McCarthy will keep his job potentially, and so will Brian Daboll. But both the Giants with a Shedeur Sanders at quarterback and the Cowboys could have openings. I think the openings this year, too many impulsive, odd ownership executive areas, Jets, Bears, Jacksonville. But Belichick, I'll say it again, I said it on the air today. I think he'll stay 1 year and bolt. His contract, he could bolt after June 1st this year. He's not going to. But my prediction, he'll leave after 1 year. And Bill Parcells twice did broadcasting, bolted, told people, I'm going to stay, bolted. Bill's a coach. Sean Payton stayed for a year, loved it. I mean, Sean really loved working as an analyst. He left. Bill Belichick's coach. And I do think I saw and talked at length today about the schedule at North Carolina. The ACC is so bad. I mean, he gets Clemson at home. There's not another game that he can't win. Syracuse on the road could be a little dicey, but so it's just interesting. In order for that to be in the contract, Bill Belichick demanded that it was in the contract because, as I told you, Jimmy Sexton, the top agent in college football, he's not sending his top clients there, and Belichick's not represented by Jimmy Sexton. So this is not a very highly coveted job because the push and pull between kind of academics and football, the chancellor. I think it's always been a little bit of a sleeping giant, but it's had some good years with Mac Brown the first time and Mac Brown the second time. But to get that in the contract, you wanted it in the contract and demanded it be in the contract. Okay. I've never seen a contract stipulation like that he could leave basically after June 1st. And again, he's not leaving this year. That's never what I said. But my prediction, he will leave after 1 year. He would deny that, obviously, but college football is, you're seeing on a weekly basis guys that love college football, young coaches, talk about how frustrating the portal, the lack of regulations, and the NIL is. I still contend the NIL should have about an $18 million salary cap. NFL's got one. Otherwise, you're going to get a separation of Texas paying $40 million and Purdue spending $3 million. It will be, even the disparity between the top and the bottom will be even greater than it is now. And it's pretty great now. So that's the latest. Congrats to the Rams. Gutty win. Stafford and McVay. That's why you pay him the big bucks. Belichick's deal. That is a very interesting clause. One that he wanted, or he wouldn't have fought for it. And one that North Carolina agreed with. North Carolina is telling you, hey, just bringing you on campus, getting the publicity, elevating our NIL from $4 million to 18 to 20 million, adding a professional structure to our program. Hey, we appreciate it. We need that. The world's changing, and we're not ready for it. And if you're willing in 1 year, give us at least one full year. And I think, even though that's in the contract, I think it's understood Bill wouldn't bolt June 2nd. Nobody's hiring coaches then. All right, Chad Millman, here we go.
I judge the quality of a fragrance by the compliments you get. When I wore Ovation for the first time, second time, and third time, usually I walk past somebody and they're like, hey, what you got on? Who over there smelling good? Yeah, that's the injection of confidence right there to you.
That's right. We want to be at the forefront of using the brand as a gateway for these young athletes. Custom suit, we do a photo shoot, we do video, and it's all about that partnership to create a personal brand.
And I love you guys associating it with more sophistication. Throwing a suit on a kid, sometimes it takes for you to see yourself with a suit on in the mirror to be like, hey, I have more to offer.
Ovation for Men, we're part of Amazon's Black Business Accelerator. You know, Amazon has invested $150 million for the next 4 years to uplift small businesses like myself to scale. You know, Amazon is really putting their money where their mouth is.
They're committed to excellence on every level. They want to scale these businesses to be amongst the best in whatever industry they're in.
You've always been authentic. You've always been pushing excellence.
Well, I appreciate that.
As our slogan says, every man deserves an ovation.
Yes, sir.
Listen, this relationship with Ovation for Men, Richard Sherman, the volume, this is just the beginning.
I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of your journey. If you haven't already checked them out, go out there, get your man some. Get the sport too. And it can be Christmas, birthday, holidays, or yesterday. But make sure you get it.